We're pretty much always online, right? For work, for shopping, connecting with everybody. But with every single click, there are dangers kind of lurking in the shadows. So today, we're going to open up the Digital Defense Playbook. We're going to break down the key moves that'll help you and your workplace stay safe in this super connected world. Let's dive in. First up, let's talk about the bait. We're going to look at just how easily a threat can sneak into our lives, often disguised as something totally harmless, or maybe even like a lucky find. It's the classic bait and switch, but believe me, the stakes are so much higher. Okay, let me ask you a question. Picture this. You're walking through a parking lot, maybe a coffee shop, and you spot a USB stick just lying there. That little spark of curiosity, it hits you, doesn't it? You can't help but wonder, what's on this thing? Did somebody lose their important files? It's a completely natural reaction. But hang on, hold that thought. Because security research shows that a whopping 2/3 of those found or free USBs are actually infected with malware, and not by accident either. They're deliberately set up as a trap, designed specifically to play on that curiosity we all have. And this really just drives the point home, doesn't it? It shows that almost half the time, someone picks up one of these infected devices and actually plugs it in. All it takes is that one moment of curiosity, and boom, you could compromise your entire computer, or even worse, your whole company's network. It's a surprisingly simple, low-tech way for attackers to get around all our fancy digital security. And it all starts with that one simple decision to just plug it in. So that single infected USB drive, it's not just some random, isolated thing. Nope, it's one tiny piece of a massive global shadow economy that's built on cybercrime. And when you understand the sheer scale of it all, you really start to see why your own personal awareness is so critical. The numbers, honestly, are just staggering. Let's start with this number, $500 billion. Just let that sink in for a second. That's how much has been lost around the world since 2015 just from business email compromise scams. The ones where criminals pretend to be a CEO or a supplier to trick a company into wiring them money. And this isn't some abstract corporate problem either. It's hitting us right where we live. Scams that target our mobile devices, the phones right in our pockets, are estimated to cost people like you and me over $7 billion a year. That's an attack aimed squarely at individuals. And just to give you a sense of how constant this is, get this. At its peak back in 2017, a business was getting hit with a ransomware attack every 40 seconds. That is less time than it takes to brew a cup of coffee. The threat isn't just there, it is relentless. Okay, so when you hear about that kind of scale and that frequency, you've got to ask, right? Where are the weak points? How on earth are these attackers getting through again and again and again? Now this is what I find really fascinating. Check out this breakdown. We tend to think of cybercrime as this super technical hacking problem, right? But look at the data. A crazy 47% of breaches involve a malicious insider, and another 28% are caused by simple human error. Add those together. That means 3/4 of these incidents have a human being at their very core. And the number one way criminals exploit that human element is through something you've probably heard of, phishing. It's basically digital bait. They'll send an email that looks totally legit, from your bank, a delivery service, maybe even your boss, and they try to trick you into clicking a bad link or giving up your private info. I love this visual because it captures the feeling perfectly. Every one of those weird, unsolicited emails is like this little character just knocking on your digital door, hoping to be let in. They are counting on you to be busy, distracted, or just not paying close enough attention. And it's not just email anymore. When they use the exact same tactic over the phone, it's called vishing. That's voice phishing. You know those calls, the ones that claim to be from tech support or your bank, trying to create this false sense of urgency so you'll give them your details without thinking. So, this brings us to the golden rule, right here. It's this simple. Would your bank ever call you and ask for your full password? Would your CEO email you out of the blue, demanding you go buy a bunch of gift cards? No way. If the request feels unreasonable, that's your giant red flag. And if it's unreasonable to ask for, it's definitely unreasonable to provide. Okay, I know, this all sounds a little overwhelming, but here's where we make the pivot. Because that single biggest vulnerability in this entire system, the human element, is also, believe it or not, our single greatest defense. Let's talk about how we turn that weakness into a massive strength. This right here is the single most important idea in all of cybersecurity. Technology is great, it helps, but no software can catch everything. At the end of the day, you are the gatekeeper. Your eyes, your instincts, your judgment, that is the most powerful security tool on the planet. So let's go back to that 28% statistic, the one about data breaches caused by human error. Let's flip that idea on its head. That's not just a vulnerability, it's an opportunity. Every single one of those potential errors can be stopped dead in its tracks by turning our autopilot actions into moments of active awareness. That is how we build a human firewall. So, how do we actually do it? What does it look like in practice? Let's boil all of this down into a really simple, actionable plan. Here it is, your 5-step defense to protect you and your workplace. First, let's start with the basics, because defense isn't just about what's on your screen. It's physical too. Whenever you get up from your computer, even if it's just for a minute, lock your screen. Keep your desk clear of sensitive papers. It's such a simple habit, but it closes a huge and honestly often overlooked security gap. Okay, here it is, the digital playbook. Let's run through it. Step 1, scrutinize your messages. Before you click anything, really look at it. Are there weird spelling errors? Is it an unexpected urgent request? Hover over that link and see where it's really going. Step 2, use strong defenses. This means strong, unique passwords for all your different accounts and keeping your security software updated. Think of it as your digital armor. Step 3, control your devices. Remember that USB stick? Yeah. Never, ever plug in a piece of hardware you don't know and trust. Only use company-approved gear. Step 4, and this one is huge, verify requests. If you get a strange email asking for money or info, pick up the phone. Call the person using a number you already know is legitimate. Never, ever use the contact info from the suspicious message itself. And finally, step 5, report suspicion. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't just delete it. Let your security team know right away. You're not being a bother, you're being part of the defense. So if you only take one single thing away from all this, let it be these 3 words. This is your new mantra. Before you open that attachment, before you follow that link, before you reply to that urgent demand, just pause. Stop. Think. And then, only then, you click. That tiny moment of awareness is your most powerful defense.